Hello my friends and welcome back to Slay the Spire 2. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Necrobinder because I just want to keep raising this character up the Ascension level, so we're jumping in at Ascension 6, and what I've found works the best with the Necrobinder in general is just to try to go basically infinite every run, so that's what we're going to be doing today. For our Niao buffs, we have 2 relics from the Act 1 boss. It's okay, not, I think, the best bet. Usually I like for these to try to carry me through Act 1, so a bonus that doesn't kick in until the end of Act 1 is usually going to be fairly weak. Upgraded cards are actually, I think, not as strong on the Necrobinder as on other classes. There are some cards that upgrade really well, but you don't need as many upgrades as other classes do in order to function correctly. So I think we'll just take Precise Scissors here, and we'll just go ahead and remove a strike. Always going to be a good default option because going down to only 10 cards, 9 after we remove our curse, will let us loop through our deck more easily, which of course is what we're going to do. I'm looking at the paths here, and typically what I'm looking for in the beginning of the game is I want to take usually like 3 hallway fights and then an event, something along those lines. And then I want to try to get at least a couple rests and a couple elites, and ideally a guaranteed shop. So, for example, this has a shop near the end of the run. That's not bad, but it doesn't give us any elites, or only 1 elite along the path. So I'm looking at this one to the right. That's more fights than I would normally like if we go this direction. So I think what I might do is go up the middle here and then track in to fight this elite, and then we can get a chest and a couple rest areas. This does commit us to 3 elite fights, but I think that's totally reasonable. All right, so let's go straight up the middle. Against this enemy on the first turn, if you roll triple defend, I just like to throw triple defend here. Remember, as the Necrobinder, because Asti gets bigger every turn, as long as you are going even with the enemies, you're making progress because you're generating health on Asti, which of course makes your attacks better and also lets you have better turns in future when you did the block. So we should, given the way that this fight has gone so far, we should be able to have a no damage fight against the Nibbit here, which is, of course, what we're hoping for. And there we go. Radiant Tincture, that's going to be pretty nice against some elites, so pretty happy with that. And let's look at our first card reward. All right, so Invoke is, of course, one of the Necrobinder's really strong cards. It gives you future turn block and energy, and it upgrades quite well, giving you 3 energy in a future turn. Looping these can give you a lot of bonus energy. Pull Aggro, I think, is a little too expensive for what it does, and High Five is not bad, but we're just going to go with Invoke here. I do want a damage card soon, so I'm going to hope for that, but we haven't gotten one right away. Alright, so the Sunken Statue. I don't know if I've had this event on in a video yet. So you spot an aged statue, half submerged in a pond. Its hands gently rest atop a stone sword. Something is glittering at the bottom of the pond. Votive offerings, perhaps? You could really use some money. So we can have either 116 gold, lose 7 HP, or obtain the Sword of Stone. The Sword of Stone is a relic that transforms into something that gives us +3 strength after we fight 5 elites. Generally, not a very good relic for the build that we're hoping to do, because we won't be making a lot of attacks ourselves. Asti will be doing most of the damage, probably. And a lot of the time we'll be killing enemies with Doom rather than direct attacks. So I'm just going to take the money here. You plunge deep into the water. While collecting the offerings, you hear a dull echo, and you're struck by stones. Once you surface, you see that the old statue had crumbled due to your disturbance, physical and spiritual. Take another hallway fight here, and we can go with Defend, Bodyguard, and Unleash, and I guess I'll just kill this one. Would have liked to draw a card other than the triple defend there, of course, because this way we were not able to do any extra damage. This turn we're gonna go, we can't kill the leaf slime this turn, so I'll go block, invoke, and I'll strike. And because we built up some health on Asti last turn, we didn't take any actual damage there. Here, I might as well play the slime first. And we'll play another slime. We have the extra energy. And let's go with Unleash, Strike, Strike. Get slimed again. Bodyguard, Defend, and Invoke. And we'll just wait until we draw into more Unleashes, and then we can kill the enemy pretty quickly. And there we go. Okay, so this card reward, I'm not loving any of these cards. Reap is okay. It's pretty good in some boss fights, especially if you upgrade it to 33 damage, because sometimes you just need that burst damage, and a Retain card is a much lower cost to add to your deck than another card, because it doesn't clog up your draws as much. So I'll probably take that. I'm not a huge fan of Fear, because we don't... inflicting vulnerable on enemies, of course, is good, and it's pretty good when upgraded, but one turn of vulnerable, you often won't have other attacks to combo with it very well, and Poke, I think, is just too low value a card to add to your deck most of the time, because you just draw into a 6 damage card, and this character cares much more about the effectiveness of its cards than about the efficiency of its energy usage. Because we do have the synergy of Reap and Invoke as well. And here will go Defend, Reap, Strike. The synergy there, of course, being that we can... Actually, I probably could have killed it with the Unleash. I wasn't paying attention to the damage. But either way, 0 health loss fight. The synergy there, of course, being that we can wait to cast the expensive card on the Invoke turn. Here, Sleight of Flesh, I like a lot. So this will help you speed up the kill on enemies that you're applying Doom to. So I have found this to be a very strong card. Wisp is not bad either, and I already talked about Fear. But we'll take Sleight of Flesh. It's not very good for us right now, but as we continue to build up the deck, it should be pretty good. Let's Smith, and we'll upgrade a card. And there's a couple cards I'm considering upgrading here. Upgrading Bodyguard is always good. It's only 2 block, but it's sort of 2 permanent block. So upgrading Bodyguard to 7 is not bad. Upgrading a Defend is also totally fine for this character, who just needs a lot of block. And upgrading Invoke, of course, gives you more block and more energy. So that's what we're going to go with. But there's a couple options there. I don't think we really need... Let me erase the path here, because it's kind of irritating me. I don't think we particularly need to focus on upgrading anything else, especially our damage cards and our power that doesn't yet do anything. Here we've got 4 damage incoming, so I think I will just go Invoke, Defend, Defend, and again we can use our energy on the Reap turn, or on the Invoke turn to cast Reap. And then this turn... I'll Reap this enemy, and then we have 12 damage incoming. Unfortunately, I didn't draw anything defensive, so we are going to take some damage this turn, but we'll go ahead and do, I guess, Unleash kills that immediately, and then we have incoming 11 damage, so we're going to take 6. Kind of sad for a hallway fight, but we just had a pretty poor shuffle there. And then we'll go with a Strike and an Unleash. Oh, obviously a bad order there. I should have bodyguarded before unleashing, but it doesn't matter either way, because we're always planning to kill the enemy with the 27 damage hit there. All right. Not a fan of any of these, really. Defile, I like well enough, and some ethereal cards can have synergy with some other cards, of course. But we already have Reap, which more or less fills the same role of giving us a high damage card early. So I think we're just skipping here. Then we got a shop. A shop is definitely a nice one to find, of course. Okay, there's a lot of good options in the shop here. Scourge is one of the cards I'm always on the lookout for on this character, as is Negative Pulse. I also like Call of the Void quite a lot. because if you don't want the card that it adds, normally cards that add random cards to your hand are pretty hard to use, but if you don't want the card from Call of the Void, it has Ethereal, so you just don't cast it, and it just goes away. So I'm going to remove a strike here, because I'm always doing that. That's the most important thing. And then I think I will take Call of the Void, and I'll also pick up Negative Pulse. Scourge and Flash of Steel are both cards I was pretty interested in as well, but we just didn't have the money to get all of them. I could have skipped out on Call of the Void, but I do think that this is a pretty good win condition for the character. Alright. Given that I got Call of the Void, and we have at least one rest area, I can also avoid a second elite fight if I track to the left here. So I'm going to take this elite fight now. And, okay, we'll go Call of the Void for sure. I could do Liquid Memories back the Unleash if I wanted to. That doesn't do anything in particular. I could use Radiant Tincture, and I think I will, just so we can get extra strikes on the Frog Parasite here, and so that we can more easily cast our Call of the Void cards. Alright, so we got Bone Shards. This, I would cast it later, but obviously right now it's not that exciting because there's only one enemy. So let's go ahead and play, let's see, do I want to Liquid Memories anything back? I could Liquid Memories back Unleash, so if I were to go like Bodyguard and then recast Unleash or recast Bodyguard, that could be pretty good. I think I will go Negative Pulse. Am I playing Slate of Flesh this turn? Probably not, because well, I could go Slate of Flesh and then double Negative Pulse with the Liquid Memories, and that gives me enough block that we don't take any damage. Ostia will go down to 1, and we get to trigger Slate of Flesh twice and play it, which is also pretty good. So that's going to be the plan. Play Negative Pulse. I don't mind using my potions here. This, I think, is the hardest elite that you can get in Act 1 for most characters, so using resources in order to make it an easier fight is pretty important. Alright, so here I'm actually going to play Reap, because then we don't get the extra infections. It does mean that the frogs are going to be unstunned next turn, but just getting rid of the big one right away helps us take a lot less damage in this fight. I will take 3 damage from this infection if I play Invoke, but I think that's worth it. Do I want to play the Ethereal Invoke to shuffle a second Invoke into the deck? I think not. I think I'm just going to focus on playing my, using my mana as much as I can. Here, we get to play Negative Pulse, which is great, because we have the Slate of Flesh in play. So this is going to deal 9 and 7 doom to all the enemies. So all of them are pretty close to dying here. We can go Bodyguard, and then I can go Strike, Strike, and Poke, and that'll kill 3 of them. Actually, I should have hit the high health one, obviously. That was kind of a mistake there. Of course, some slight sequencing errors, but mostly in places that don't matter, so I'm fine with that. Grave Warden, this is a card we're always going to be on the lookout for later on. For now, of course, this fight is over. Kusari Gama is very unlikely to come up that frequently for this character, so not a great relic to roll. But let's see what characters we've got, or what cards we've got here. We have Rattle, which we are doing attacks with Asti, so that's something that we could build into. Right hand similarly, though I don't currently have any 2-cost cards except for Slate of Flesh. But Oblivion with Slate of Flesh is a broken combo that could just OTK a lot of enemies. So that's what we're going to take here. And now we have a really strong direction for the deck. All I need is some souls so I can loop through those cards, and we'll be in phenomenal shape. Here I'm going to come up here. If I Smith, I can upgrade Negative Pulse for more Doom. I could upgrade Bodyguard. Call of the Void could be innate, which is also quite good. And what else might I want? Slate of Flesh for more damage. We'll probably want to upgrade that eventually. I think I'll upgrade Call of the Void, because I want to take the second elite fight here. right now, and that way we will definitely have card generation at the beginning, which will make the elite fight quite a bit smoother, most likely. So we'll play Oblivion, we'll play Call of the Void, we'll play Defend, we'll play Unleash. We're definitely taking some damage this turn, of course. Here, I've got Dredge, put 3 cards from my discard pile into my hand. So I could dredge back Oblivion or Unleash, for example. But this turn, I think we're just going to go negative pulse, defend, and we'll let the dredge disintegrate. Build up some health on Asti and everything. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to find a turn to cast Invoke against this enemy, which just attacks you for a lot of damage every turn. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a hit here so I can get the Invoke rolling. And then we'll go down to 20 health, but that's fine. 18 incoming damage. I could deal a bunch of damage this turn, but that's not something that I need to do. I'm almost always invoking here, and I'll play Bodyguard Defend, so that's going to block 14 of the incoming damage. Then I could play Reap for 27, but let's get our Sleight of Flesh going, and then we'll hit the enemy here. And we'll go down to 16. This means we won't be taking another elite fight after this one, but that's fine. We can use our health as a resource. So now we get to play Oblivion, which does 9 damage to the enemy. We can then play Negative Pulse, and that's going to deal even more damage. And then I'll go with a Defend, and a Defend. And then I could Reap here. No, we guarantee killing it anyways if I just play Defend. And so there's our basic combo. Obviously, that will get more efficient once we can draw our cards more and have more energy. Chandelier is a really nice find as well. That's going to help us get that combo turn going. So even if it takes 2 turns of setup, now we have a really strong power spike on turn 3 and should be able to win most fights then. Okay, so this is another really interesting decision. I love Cleanse. It makes it so much easier to set up really powerful loops for this character. Enfeebling Touch is not bad. It's basically 8 block when you're fighting against one strong enemy, but it's often more than that if they're multi-attacking. And of course, more Invokes is always good, but I think we're going to go with 1 Cleanse, because being able to remove those the cards that you don't want to redraw is really powerful. We could just take a rest here and then do another elite fight. Let's actually do that. 35 health is going to be fine. Alright, so against this enemy, I'm really just hoping to draw into my Oblivion for a really powerful combo turn. But we'll set up Call of the Void and we'll go Bodyguard Unleash. And I've got 10 damage. Not amazing, the explosive Ampoule here, but 10 damage is, you know, it's worth 10 damage, so you're happy to have it. I can use Cleanse, and I will remove... What do I want to draw into next turn? We're drawing into Oblivion, Invoke, Sleight of Flesh. I think I'll just get rid of the Ascender's Bane. While this card is going to get removed from my deck anyways, we have extra energy next turn from the Chandelier, and so I can just cast everything that we're about to draw here. If I remove that and kind of guarantee that we don't have to worry about it, then I'll play Negative Pulse and Strike. We'll let the Flatten time out. Here I can go... Yeah, Sleight of Flesh first is more damage, right? So we'll go Sleight of Flesh, Oblivion, Defend. Do I want to Parse? I could Parse into some more Defends or a Bodyguard. I definitely want to play Invoke this turn. But yeah, let's play Parse. We'll redraw 3 here, and then I will play Invoke, and I'll play Defend. I'll take a fairly large hit, but we were able to cycle through a big chunk of the deck and get our Oblivion and everything set up. No Escape. This is going to do 15 Doom, which is not enough, but I can go Defend, Bodyguard, No Escape, Strike, and Unleash, and that gets the enemy down to 20 health. Then we take some small amounts more damage, but we took another elite fight. These haven't been the cleanest fights. My deck is not incredibly well set up for these elite fights, but we're making do, and that's obviously helping us collect some of these very powerful relics. Here, Drain Power, I like a lot. This is one of the attacks I do like having in my deck for the Necrobinder, because upgrading your cards as you shuffle through is really strong. But we're definitely taking Capture Spirit here. Being able to shuffle souls into the deck is how we're going to combo off with our Oblivion turns. So any soul generation is the thing that we've been missing the most. Play a Cleanse, and we'll just get rid of a strike here, and then I'll play Call of the Void and a strike. 9 incoming damage this turn. Okay, well, we got a free fetch, so first time this card has been played this turn. I think I probably will not be playing Sleight of Flesh this turn. Okay, so if I Oblivion, it will get eaten by the artifact. So I'm going to use Fetch, and this is what I was hoping for, was to find Negative Pulse, so that I can play Negative Pulse to remove the artifact, then play Oblivion, and then I'll play Capture Spirit to shuffle some souls in, and we'll play Unleash, and we got at least some doom on the enemy, and Osti's going to absorb the damage here. 11 incoming damage this turn, but this is my Chandelier turn, so we have a lot of energy. Death's Door is pretty good, but I think I will just let it Ethereal out, because I can go Invoke, we'll play some Souls, trying to roll into more damage. And then Bodyguard, Unleash, and Reap is not quite enough. Thought that was going to be enough, I kind of miscounted there. So let's just play Defend, Defend, Defend. Get some more health on Osti. And then this turn, we can go Fetch into Reap and win. The Liquid Bronze, I think, is going to be worth more damage than the Ampoule, so I will take the Liquid Bronze here. I'll take another Negative Pulse. This is a good way to apply Doom while also gaining additional block, so we're reasonably happy to have that. And then here I'm going to do a Safety Rest. 25 HP is probably enough, but if we happen to get a bad shuffle, or I manage to mess up the fight, just having a little bit of extra health is going to help. Alright, because we had the Venerable Tea set, we're going to be able to set up all of our powers on the first turn, which is great. I will also use the Liquid Bronze. This enemy multi-attacks, so making sure to have the Thorns damage is going to help. And we might as well use the Strength Potion as well. Oh, of course, I did that in the wrong order. Sleight of Flesh first was obviously correct there. Playing a little too fast, I need to just slow down and make sure that I am taking my turns in the right order. 12 damage incoming, and I can easily block 10 of it if I just play Negative Pulse and Invoke. Do I want to let Osti take damage and I'll take a hit? I think so. So I'm going to play Negative Pulse, Invoke, and Defend. And we'll pass on Capture Spirit this turn, but we get an Invoke turn next turn. This will combine with our Chandelier turn for 9 energy, and we were very likely to draw into Oblivion this turn, so we should be able to do a lot of damage, or functional damage, by getting the enemy doomed and also stripping away its Slippery. We didn't draw into a lot of defenses, so I am going to take some damage this turn. But let's go with Cleanse, and we'll remove a Defend here. The Ascender's Bane will go away on its own, so I'm happy to leave that in the deck. Play. And then we're just going to play everything. Anything that I want to play in a specific order? Not particularly. Well, I guess playing the high damage cards last after we'd stripped off the Slippery was important, but we did that. And then this turn, I can go with Blight Strike, and that's enough to win this boss fight pretty cleanly and very quickly, which is great. It looks like we would have had enough health also. Alright, so this turn, Devour Life, I really like in any deck that's playing a lot of souls. This just gives you so much free value from looping through souls and just makes your character so much more stable. Domain is also really good. At the start of your turn, gain an energy and draw an extra card. It makes it so much easier for you to set up your loops. So I think I'm going to go with this. This is a decision that I'm actually not sure about. And maybe once I have more experience with the game or on like higher difficulty settings, I would make the opposite choice. But we're going to go with Domain for now. As we enter Act 2, let's see what we've got here. We have the Very Hot Cocoa. So that's pretty nice because it will let us much more easily set up our powers and invoke on the first turn. I think that this is just one of the strongest boss relics that you can get. Extra energy is always incredibly powerful. Toasty Mittens is kind of fun if you have ways to manipulate your draw pile, especially because you can manage to thin your deck down to only the cards that you want to loop through. So this is actually a pretty powerful tool. We don't have a lot of ways to do that, but it's still a very nice option, especially if we get more draw manipulation. Pumpkin Candle I do like. This makes Act 2 very easy if you get this item, but I think that we're more concerned about just getting our start going, so I'm just going to take the Hot Cocoa. I think usually when you're offered this, it's right to take it. It's just so strong. This relic could probably just be +2 on the first turn, and it would still be a great boss relic. All right, let's look at our path. So, once we're out of Act 1, I usually like to try to avoid as many hallway fights as possible, just because the rewards are not amazing, and hallway fights in Slay the Spire 2 are really hard. This game has really stepped up the difficulty of the basic enemies, I think, in a way that makes me usually want to avoid them and just try to get events, shops, and elites, because elites give you better rewards and are not that much harder than the basic hallway fights, especially in like Act 2 and 3. There's an exception for the first few hallway fights, but the end of level hallway fights, I think, you should usually try to avoid. The path that I'm looking at here is something like this, because we could get just a bunch of events. That kind of locks us into a couple mid-level hallway fights if we do this, or too many if I go this way. So we would go to the left here, and then we could take elite event and another elite. I like this setup a lot. We don't get a shop, which is something that I do want. So I could also branch to the right and go through this shop, take a couple elite fights, take this one, then we get one hallway fight at the end, or I could do another elite if I go this way. I think this right-hand path is going to be the one that makes the most sense, so we're going to take all the way down the right there. So here we have 7 energy on the first turn, and unfortunately we did draw Ascender's Bane, which means that we're going to take a little bit of damage. Because I don't have a way to draw extra cards on the first turn, turns where we draw Ascender's Bane, we're almost always going to take hits. Here we can go Oblivion, and I'll go Capture Spirit, putting 3 souls into the draw pile. Our bonus card is Reeve, which can also shuffle a soul in, but I think we're going to go Invoke and Cleanse and just let the Reeve time out. 23 incoming damage now, so we got Debilitate. Vulnerable and Weak are twice as effective against the enemy for the next 3 turns. That is kind of cool. With Strike and Reap, we can actually break the Tunneler's shielding as well. So let's go Domain. And I'm always doing Strike and Reap. Do I want to use my Soul this turn, or do I want to just play Debilitate? I think we'll use the Soul, because, sure, I'll just draw into double negative pulse. I was hoping to draw into Sleight of Flesh so I could get that set up, but the double negative pulse is also totally fine. And because we played Invoke on our Chandelier turn, or no, we didn't get to play Invoke this turn, so we only have 4 energy currently. And actually, what am I getting the 4 energy from? Oh, from Domain, of course. We've got Oblivion, which we'll start with, and then set up Sleight of Flesh, which does 9 damage there. I'll play Soul, because it's a free card, which triggers Oblivion. We'll play Right Hand Hand for the same reason. And then I just need enough block that I don't take damage this turn. Well, Negative Pulse will do that, and Defend will do that, and that's a Tunneler fight completed. Grave Warden, we definitely want. Scourge, I also definitely want. Both of these cards are amazing for us. I think the Scourge is more important, and it's already upgraded, which obviously is a nice little bonus. This card needs to be upgraded to be good, because by default it's only draw 1, so this will let us spend our upgrade on something else instead. The Zen Weaver. You walk through a spider web and panic, but then a wave of calm washes over you. Calm down. I need you to quit fussing up my web. How did you calm down so quickly? An itsy-bitsy spider sails down to meet you. It seems willing to impart some techniques for gold. Okay, so we could get 2 Enlightenment, 0 cost skill, reduce the cost of all cards in my hand to 1 this turn. That's pretty cool with our domain, especially. But I think just removing a card is always going to be better, especially because this deck really wants to be as thin as possible so that we can loop. The teeny weeny spider begins a hypnotic dance and repeatedly chants. Thoughts don't affect reality. Panic is the thought killer. Follow the plan. This makes sense to you. Big wise words from a tiny spider. So that does make the shop less important because I did just spend a bunch of my money on a card removal, but I think we'll still be happy to go to a shop. I once again drew a Sender's Bane in the opening turn, which is unlucky for sure. Play the Oblivion, and we'll play Call of the Void, Defend, and Strike. Taking some chip damage from this hallway fight, but that's fine. And then here, okay, I got End of Days. Kill enemies with at least as much doom as HP. This is kind of fun because it bypasses the exoskeleton's hard to kill ability entirely, so we just get to one-shot this encounter. Sick. Do I want a Drain Power in this deck? Death March can also be really good if you're looping through souls a lot, but I think we're just gonna skip this whole setup. Drain Power we don't really need, and I'm much more interested in keeping the deck thin than in adding cards that we're not excited by. Alright, this enemy, the Obscura, will summon a thing, but on the first turn, we now get to play all of our cards, which is great, so we can set up everything here. Bodyguard, Unleash, Negative Pulse. 21 damage incoming from this enemy. We got Deathbringer, which will kill the Paraphrite, if we play that. Let's start with Oblivion. Actually, do I want to... So I can do 9 with the Negative Pulse. And then I want to kill the Paraphrite is what I'm thinking here. I could try to kill it without taking damage if I put Oblivion on it, and probably I should do that, because this way we can just kill it and not take a hit. It does mean that I didn't get to Oblivion the Obscura, but we're just going to guarantee that we don't take damage this turn. Play Scourge here, and then I'll play a Cleanse, getting rid of the Defend. Alright, so this turn, I can go Invoke, Grave Warden, Reap just to prevent the damage again, and then we'll Capture Spirit the Obscura, and Asti can take 1 damage. It's possible that I'm being too careful and letting the Paraphrite in killing the Paraphrite, and that what I really need is just to kill the Obscura, because I can probably just one-shot it. Let's start with we'll start with a Soul here, because if I can draw into Oblivion, we can definitely one-shot it. So yeah, let's do this. Play the Oblivion. I'll play a Soul. I will play Grave Warden to shuffle another Soul in. I'll play Cleanse to get rid of a Defend and make it more likely I draw into more souls. Then I'll play another Soul, and another one. And we'll play Capture Spirit for more souls in the deck. Play Scourge. And we'll play a Soul and kill the enemy. And so there you see, this is the theory behind this deck, is we'll be able to loop through 1,000,000 souls, one-shotting everything with Oblivion. Don't Fairy in a bottle is an okay insurance policy, so I'm not unhappy about having that. Do I want a second Scourge? I suppose so. Usually you only need one of these, but a second one will help us loop through our cards faster. And we have a lot of ways to generate extra energy, so it's pretty good in that sense. Then, I could decrease the cost of Domain. That's pretty good. Capture Spirit can add 4 souls, which is really nice as well. Sleight of Flesh for more damage isn't bad. And of course, Oblivion for more damage is also good. Bodyguard is a solid upgrade always, but I think we'll just go with reducing the cost of Domain to make sure that we can always set it up. Then we're going to go ahead and take this elite fight. Here, I will get to play everything again, so we'll play Call of the Void, Negative Pulse, Defend, and Reap. This does shuffle some Dazes into the deck, but getting to play this is still pretty powerful. It reduces the enemy health a lot. Again, we drew Ascender's Bane in the first turn. I really need some more... this is why I've been adding so much card draw to the deck, is to minimize the chance of not being able to do anything on the first turn, but unfortunately we have been getting some fairly unlucky shuffles. Add Replay to a card in my hand, costs an extra energy, Exhaust. This is our temporary Transfigure. I don't think I need that for any reason, so let's start with Cleanse, and we'll cleanse a strike, because we are definitely not striking the enemy that puts Dazes in our deck. And then... we are taking another big hit this turn, because I've had some pretty weak draws overall. I really need a Grave Warden just to be able to build up some block. I could Scourge and maybe draw into something, but there's also a good chance I draw into cards I don't want to play this turn. So I think we're just going to go Defend and Capture Spirit. Really bad turn for us where we take a big hit here. 9 damage. Alright, this turn is good for us, though, because now I can play Oblivion. I can play the Soul, and I'm trying to draw into... It's in our discard, Sleight of Flesh, so we probably won't be able to draw into it this turn, but we can at least get a lot of Doom on the enemy. And I'll play Scourge, keep on drawing, we'll get Domain set up, I will play... Bodyguard, and Ethereal, or Defy I don't need, because if this was upgraded Defy, then it would be pretty good, being able to weaken the enemy for multiple turns. Since it's not, that's not something that we're interested in. And I will shuffle 1 Daze in order to play the Unleash here. So this turn, let's start with Capture Spirit to shuffle 3 souls in. Then I'm going to play a soul. Play another one. And another one. Play Sleight of Flesh here. Play another soul. And I was definitely hoping to find Oblivion, where we could have killed the enemy this turn. But I guess I'll just play Negative Pulse, dealing some damage, and we'll take a big hit. That was actually a very poorly played turn by me. I was not paying attention to how much damage I was going to take. This turn, we get double Oblivion, though, and we can definitely defend ourselves enough. Let's go with Scourge, drawing some cards here. Well, I guess I can actually just kill it this turn. Okay, so very, very bad elite fight by me. I messed up pretty much everything that I could have there. Need to really refocus and not let that happen again. I'll skip these card upgrades, and then we'll go to this shop. And let's see what we're interested in buying here. So I would really love anything that increases my ability to draw cards. Reanimate isn't terrible either, because we do need more block. Restlessness, we're rarely going to empty our hand, but we do have a lot of energy. The reason we're rarely going to empty our hand is because we'll often have souls and not want to play them, and we have Ascender's Bane in our deck, which is going to get stuck in our hand sometimes. This is a retain card, which makes it a little more attractive. But I think what we're going to do in this shop is just remove the strike here. Had to step away for a minute to take a phone call, which is probably good. After playing that last fight so badly, I needed to just take a moment off. That's something that you can always do if you find yourself playing worse, in a turn-based game at least. You can just go do something else for a bit until you've mentally reset. I think that's how people make a lot of mistakes as well, is just by continuing to bash their head against something that's giving them difficulty. Alright, let's keep going, and we will take the frozen egg. We probably won't be adding too many more powers to the deck, but we might add 1 or 2 more, so that's an okay artifact to get. And then we're up against the Decimillipede. So this enemy, we are definitely going to need to draw into some block here. So I'm going to use my Swift Potion. I also do have the Fairy with a bottle, the Fairy in a bottle. So I do have the opportunity to come back if I take too much damage. Sleight of Flesh is going to be really good with the negative pulse here. And I can Oblivion to maybe kill one of these enemies. So if I Sleight of Flesh first, then the enemy will take 3 less doom, but will take 9 more damage. So I'll play Sleight of Flesh first. I'll play Oblivion on the one that's attacking twice. I haven't done the math on whether we'll kill it, but it doesn't really matter. We'll give it our best shot anyways. We'll negative pulse here. And then I could reap to kill it immediately if I wanted to. But we're going to play 3 more cards if I don't. Which will tick Oblivion 3 times and kill the Decimillipede, so we're fine, actually. So then I can play Domain, I can play Cleanse, we'll just remove one of these defends, and we'll play Call of the Void as well, killing that one enemy, and we've got 14 damage incoming, so we'll take a little bit of chip damage, but certainly not the end of the world here. This turn, I can go negative Pulse, which I'm definitely always playing. Blight Strike will apply 6 Doom to an enemy, but I definitely need some more block. So Bodyguard and Defend are not bad options. Scourge could maybe draw me into just some more defends. I should probably have upgraded my defends at some point as well. This is part of why we're taking so much damage, is just that I don't have any reasonable blocking cards in the deck. Play Bodyguard, and if I play Unleash, I can kill one of them after its turn. But let's go with Defend, and Unleash or Blight Strike will kill one of these enemies after their turn. So again, I will take a small amount of damage. I guess I'll hit the high health one. No, that wouldn't be enough damage. So we'll hit the low health one, putting it to 14 here. Taking 4. We got another Call of the Void as our random Call of the Void card. That's fun. And let's start with Scourge on this enemy. I could Reap to kill this one, and I will. And then if I just block for 14, then this one will die. This enemy will come back, I believe, before this one dies, so we'll have to do 25 next turn, but that's not a problem, really. So we'll just go Bodyguard, Defend, and Defend. This enemy comes back, and then here I can go Oblivion and negative Pulse and kill it. Alright, Cure All, not bad either. Of course, energy and drawing cards is very important to this deck. Bowler Hat probably won't matter that much, and let's see what we get here. Do I want Delay? This is certainly not a card I normally like, but we really need block just in the deck at all. So I think we are going to take Delay here. I think that's a fairly weak card that usually I wouldn't pick up. But given that we're so desperate for block right now, and we haven't found Grave Warden or any of those more important blocking cards, taking Delay seems fine. I have more health than it looks like because I have the fairy in a bottle, so I'm going to go ahead and smith. If I die this in this fight, that's fine. I really do want to start upgrading some of these cards. So I can upgrade Negative Pulse for 1 more block, but I guess let's upgrade Delay because it gives me more energy, so it'll cycle through better. And 13 block for 2 energy is a little better overall. And then we can take this Elite Fight here. And like I said, if I take 14 damage and die this turn, that's fine. We do start with 9 energy though, so we can just play all of our cards. And this turn, I don't have Slate of Flesh in hand. I could try to draw into it. Let me go with Oblivion first. And I think we'll just set up for next turn. I'll play Delay, play Cleanse, and we'll remove one of our Defends. Still want to remove those over the Ascender's Bane. I'm going to attack the enemy with Reeve here, both to shuffle a soul in, and because we get the energy back against this enemy, and then we can play Bodyguard here. Because when you hit this enemy, you gain your energy back. This turn, I can go Invoke for sure. I'm always doing that. Actually, I should play Capture Spirit first. Have it lose some health, shuffle some souls in, play Scourge, because I want to draw into Sleight of Flesh, which is still in the bottom 2 cards of the deck. So playing this soul here... Or no, wait, where is Sleight of Flesh? Did I play it already? Oh, I played it already, of course. Okay. Let's play Negative Pulse. And we've got 27 incoming damage. So I'll play another Negative Pulse. Sculpting Strike I'm going to pass on. I'll play a Soul and get a reshuffle here. Play an Oblivion. Again, bad sequencing. Should have drawn my cards beforehand, and then I could have had the Oblivion before I played those 2 Negative Pulses. So let's draw 2 cards here. And 27 incoming damage. I have 10 block in hand currently. Or 15 block in hand currently. So if I just play my 3 blocking cards, that's enough. Let's start with Scourge. And then I will go with Negative Pulse. The enemy will die at the end of its turn. So we'll go Bodyguard and Defend. And then we take no more damage in this fight, going to 3. Unfortunately, I didn't use my Fairy in a Bottle, so I can't take the Cure All this turn. Pendulum is really good, just more card draw is really nice for this deck. A second Oblivion would be awesome for comboing down enemies, but we might need Putrefy, just because I'm having trouble defending myself. So if I take Putrefy to apply weakness, that could help us survive much more easily. This is another interesting spot, but I think we do actually need the Putrefy. Once we have our combo online, it doesn't really matter how many Oblivions we have. So it's just surviving to that point. I also, because I have the Fairy in a Bottle, I will take another Elite Fight here. So let's start with Capture Spirit. I mean, I guess we're just playing everything here. Gonna hatch some eggs for us. This turn, I'm going to start with a soul. We'll start by drawing. I don't have an easy way to kill all of these eggs because they're going to hatch at the end, hatch on their turn. So if I doom them with Scourge, for example, it doesn't stop them from hatching. I could Reap to kill one of them, but I think we're probably better off just letting them hatch and saying that that's fine. So let's go with Scourge on the Avicopter. And then we'll play a Soul here. We'll Oblivion this enemy. We'll play Cleanse first to make my draws better. Draw a couple cards here. We didn't draw into Sleight of Flesh, which is in the bottom cards of our deck currently. Double Negative Pulse. So if I had drawn into Sleight of Flesh, then I could have played that and the Negative Pulses and killed all of the eggs. So pretty unlucky that we didn't draw into it. But I can play Bodyguard. I can kill one of them with an Unleash, which is probably worth doing. And then I'll play negative pulse, and I'll unleash to kill the highest health enemy. Asti prevents us from taking any damage. We will play Fetch on the low health one to redraw a card. We have 13 damage incoming. That's not a big deal because we can block it all with delay. So I think this turn we're just going Slate of Flesh, Domain, Delay, just setting up all of my powers here. It's going to hatch some more units, but we should be able to kill it this turn, or at least come very close. So we'll play Oblivion, we'll play Capture Spirit. I have Scourge to draw cards, so I will do that. And then let's go Negative Pulse. Now everything is currently dying, so I just need to prevent 12 damage, which we've already done. So just to make sure that I haven't miscounted, I'll just play some defense. It's gonna summon some eggs, but then everything dies. Fire Potion we're passing on, and do I want Pull Aggro or Grave Blast or Drain Power? Pull Aggro I might take if we hadn't taken the delay. But since we did, we don't need another 2-cost blocking card, so I think we'll pass on that, and then we'll go fight this elite. And then here, we will almost certainly use our Fairy in a Bottle this turn. Let's go ahead and hit the lowest health enemy, shuffle some souls in. We'll play Cleanse as well, and we will get rid of Defend here. I'll play a Defend, Invoke, and Call of the Void. I think I will play the Cure-All, because I do actually want to play a couple more cards this turn, if possible. So we'll go Scourge, and we'll play Negative Pulse, and I guess I'll play another Scourge, and that'll kill this enemy as well. So here we come back with 16 HP, which is fine. And then I can go Slate of Flesh, Negative Pulse, which is going to deal damage to a bunch of enemies. But let's start with Soul and Soul and see if I can roll into Oblivion, which I did. Now I can go with Negative Pulse, and that'll kill at least one of them shortly. Let's play... We've got 3 energy left, so I could play Calcify, Bodyguard, and Defend. And that will kill the enemy that I put Oblivion on. It won't get enough damage on the other Decimillipede, of course. But just killing that one is going to be helpful. This turn, we again have 6 energy, so let's put Oblivion on this one, and then I will play Unleash, which will damage that one. We'll play Reap to kill this one, and that ends the fight there. So, 16 health, and then we can take a rest before we fight the boss. Horncleat. This is a very nice relic for us to get. The best... relics for us to get would be ones that draw cards at the start of the fight, but this is really good because we've been having trouble defending ourselves up until like our Chandelier turn. So anything that gives us some free block in the early game is pretty good. Death's Door, we will usually be applying Doom. Severance is a good way to shuffle in souls, but I do think we just need one more block card, so I'm going to take Death's Door here. And then we'll go ahead and rest. And then it's time to fight the big crab. So we have 21 damage incoming this turn. Let's go ahead and Putrefy here. And then I will play... I'll drink the Dex Potion. We don't have a way to apply Doom currently, but we can at least play everything else. So our Death's Door would have been obviously much better if we'd had a way to apply Doom. But since we didn't, we're just focused on taking a little bit of damage and surviving until this turn. And on this turn, we can play Oblivion, we can play Scourge. I'll get Slate of Flesh in play as well. I will play another Scourge. Actually, I should play Cleanse before Scourge to reduce my dead draws. And I've got 22 damage incoming. So negative Pulse we can play. And now we have 21 block. I could play Unleash or Defend if I wanted to. I guess I'll just play an Unleash here. And then Flatten. Do I want to shuffle a Flatten into my deck? I think that's okay. Because it just gets Rocket killed a little faster. Asti takes 1 damage there. And then this turn, we can go... I do want to try to kill the Rocket. I need to get it with Oblivion to make that happen, probably. And I don't have a way to draw cards. I could play Reap for 3, and that would get it to 87 total damage, so it would be at 5. So Reap plus Fear is enough to kill it. That's probably good enough to do. So we'll play the Fear, we'll play the Reap, getting this enemy low enough that it just dies, and then I will flip around by playing Capture Spirit on this one, so that we're only taking 8. And then, do I want Bodyguard plus negative Pulse? I guess we'll just play the Delay to have more energy in our subsequent turn. I mean, I guess Lethality is fine. Anytime we do an attack, it's going to be for a pretty big chunk of damage, usually. Let's start by playing a Soul here, because I am looking for Oblivion, if possible. And Death's Door is fine. Is there stuff I want to cleanse? There is, so I'll play Cleanse, and we'll remove this Defend. And then I'll play one more Soul, looking for Oblivion. Still haven't found that. I have 10 cards in hand, so let's get our Lethality played, and then I'll play Scourge. I'll definitely set up an Invoke, and Fear I'm going to let disintegrate for sure. So let's play another Scourge, and I'll play a Bodyguard. Let most of those cards disintegrate, but we're just trying to roll into Oblivion anyways. And then now I can go Oblivion. Soulstorm is pretty powerful if you have a lot of souls. This deck doesn't have an amazing number. We would like some more soul generation for sure, but we're still doing okay. I'll play Capture Spirit, shuffle, of course, some souls in, and then I will play Scourge to try to draw into some of those. We'll draw 2 souls. I'll play Cleanse. Yeah, we can get rid of a Defend again. Play another Scourge. 10 cards in hand, so I can play another Soul. And then here, I'll play Invoke. Play another Soul. I could loop Invokes here if I wanted to. I guess I do. So I'll play another Invoke. And then the enemy will die this turn, so we'll just play a Bodyguard and let it hit Asti. And that's the big crab. So that was a pretty easy fight. This turn, I could pick up any of these cards is actually fairly interesting. Time's Up can speed up your kill a lot, of course, when you're applying a lot of Doom. Seance, I really like. It's another way to remove bad cards from the deck, and it turns them into souls, which is even better. And it costs 0. I would much rather have this than the Cleanse if I had a choice between the 2 cards. And Undeath is another way to gain block, but I think we're going to take Seance. And we're back for Act 3. Let's see what we get. I will say I'm always disappointed whenever I see Vaku. This Ancient typically has by far the worst options, though in this case, Distinguished Cape is actually very good for this deck. The intangibles will help us avoid taking damage in those early turns. Jeweled Mask is not bad because it could let us set up Domain on the either Domain or Sleight of Flesh on the first turn. Those are our only 2 powers. So that's actually maybe even better than Distinguished Cape because it's going to give us a basically 1 more card draw on the first turn and free play of one of our most important cards. But I think that Apparition might still be more important. being able to avoid taking damage is just so massive. So we're going to take the Distinguished Cape here. It doesn't help as much with our combo, but it helps us just avoid dying. And since this deck has been struggling with its defenses, we're going to take the power-up that solves the problem that's immediately in front of us. Something that's very important in these deck-building games, and in just most games in general, but especially roguelikes, is that you want to solve the problem that you actually have, not try to build for the theoretically perfect deck. Make sure that you're playing based on the cards and combination of effects that you are currently working with. So I'm looking at my paths here. We could get a shop either to the left or right. If I go to the right, we get like 1 elite, and then we're stuck with a hallway fight in either direction, and 2 events, and then 2 more hallway fights. Okay, so I don't really like this right-hand path because it traps us taking this pair of hallway fights at the end. In Act 3, these end-of-act hallway fights I almost always want to avoid them. They're just as hard as the elites, basically, and give you almost nothing. So if we go to the left here, because I do want the shop, I can take 3 hallway fights, and then campfire, go here, we can go like so, and then we can choose whether to take 1 more elite fight. So that looks like a really good path. I could also go to the right here. It would mean 1 more hallway fight, but we get an extra shop. So we're definitely going to the left. We'll make the rest of our decisions as we go, but for now, let's take this left-hand fight. All right. Well, we didn't draw into Apparition this turn, but so we're definitely taking some damage, given that I drew no defenses. Yeah, literally no blocking cards, so we're taking a pretty big hit, unfortunately. I'll putrefy. It doesn't matter which I putrefy. It's -4 damage either way. And I should have played Sleight of Flesh first. Getting ahead of myself again there. So here we're taking a big hit. Neurosurge, this is going to be great. Just the ability to play more cards this turn is obviously awesome. Let's start with Oblivion. I will put it on the highest health one. And then I'll go Neurosurge. I'll play Seance, and we'll turn something into Soul here. One of these defends. Then I'm going to play Scourge on, let's say, this enemy, dealing 9 to it. I'll play a Soul here. I will play Negative Pulse. We've got 24 damage incoming. Negative Pulse again will kill that enemy, going down to only 14 damage, and then we can reap anyways. Alright, so my mistake there with the ordering on Sleight of Flesh actually didn't change how much damage we took in that fight. So, obviously still not great, but it didn't affect anything. Countdown I like a lot as well, and this will help us just get faster kills. It works very well, of course, with Sleight of Flesh for just 18 damage every turn. So it's like a Noxious Fumes that's been ticking for, what would that be, 9 turns already, if you have Countdown and Sleight of Flesh in play. The Dredge is also very good. It's basically a draw 3, but it gives you some selection on the draw 3, and can really help loop our combo. Being able to dredge back Oblivion is really nice, and because this has Retain, it stays in hand. So I think that Dredge is going to be better than Countdown here, just to try to loop through our combo better. But either of those would be really strong cards. Okay, well, I can take a Countdown Plus here if I want one. Fasten Plus is actually quite good for us right now. We've got 4 defends still, so this is a way to turn my defends into something pretty good. Unsettling Lamp works with our, what's that card called? The one that, Putrefy. So that's not bad. Festive Popper and Membership Card I don't think we want. Membership Card is not going to make us back the money that we spend on it in this shop. removing a card, I could remove Cleanse because we have Seance. If I buy Fasten, I actually don't want to remove my Defend because they would now be good. But I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to remove a Defend, and I'll take Countdown because I do think I want the Countdown. Deathbringer is something I don't mind. Reeve I don't mind, but I think we're just going to pass on the rest of these cards, and then we'll go take another fight. Always nice to get these fights where the enemy gives you a setup turn when you're playing a character like this that kind of needs the setup turn. $12 incoming damage, but we get 14 block for free from our relic, the Horn Cleat. Do I have any way to draw cards? Not currently, so we'll go Sleight of Flesh first. This time I'm going to do it in the right order. Play Putrefied, and the enemy takes some damage, and then we can play Captured Spirit for more damage to the now vulnerable enemy. So, actually ordering my cards correctly this time. I know, what a novel concept. Here, I will go... So I could dredge back Oblivion, and I think I will do that. So we'll go Dredge, we'll pick up Oblivion. What else do I want? Probably Capture Spirit, and am I going to loop this turn, or do I want the Invoke? And do I have enough block to block 15 incoming damage? I think I'll take the Death's Door, just in case we don't win this turn, and then we can block the incoming damage, because I'm not sure if the math will allow for us to win this turn. Then we're going to go Oblivion, we'll go Seance, and we'll turn one of our defends into a soul here. Play Capture Spirit, shuffling some more souls in, and then I'll play Cleanse to get rid of another card we don't want. We'll play a soul, play another soul, and another one, and another one, and another one, and one more for good measure. And then, doesn't really matter what I do at this point, we just win anyways. Alright, so. I didn't need the defensive card, but it didn't matter what we took as our third card regardless. Here, we definitely don't want any of these, so we're going to skip. And then I have to make a decision. Do I want the campfire or the event over the fight? I think we'll take the campfire, because there's still a lot of cards I'm pretty interested in upgrading. Alright, we finally drew Apparition on a turn where we were going to take damage, so that's pretty nice. So I can go Sleight of Flash, Negative Pulse, hitting all these enemies for 9. I will play Apparition, of course, and then I'll hit the lowest health one with Capture Spirit and play Call of the Void. Big chunk of damage incoming again. I currently don't have a way to draw cards in hand. And I only have 3 energy this turn. So let's start with Oblivion on this enemy, because I can certainly kill this one. And if I unleash on a different one, I can do Unleash and Delay. We did get our free block. So let's go Unleash on this one. And then I'll play Delay, killing that one, and now we block all of the incoming damage. This turn, I have another Apparition, so that's pretty good. I, once again, don't have a way to draw cards, though. So we'll play Apparition, we'll play Negative Pulse, and then I will play So. And that should be enough damage that they all die, and we can just pass the turn. So, clean fight against the Scrolls there. Shroud. Okay, this is a way to actually survive our combo turns. So I'm definitely going to take the Shroud. And then we'll go here, and we'll get our card upgrade. Seance, turning things into Soul Plus is pretty good. Death's Door, I don't need to upgrade. I could upgrade Oblivion or Sleight of Flesh to make those better. I think we'll upgrade Sleight of Flesh. It's what's doing most of the damage for this combination. So just making sure that we can kill enemies faster is always going to be a good idea. 29 damage incoming this turn, but we have Apparition, so that's exactly what we're hoping for. And we can play Oblivion, Shroud, getting a little bit of block here. We can Apparition, and we can play Call of the Void and a Defend. This turn, we get to Apparition again, which is great, and we get to Sleight of Flesh. Do I want that over Invoke? It might be better to set up Invoke. No, because we have Chandelier next turn. So I can just Sleight of Flesh. We'll get 6 energy next turn regardless. And then this turn, I can go with Seance, and we'll turn our Defend into a Soul. I have enough block that I can block this 18 damage if needed. Let me dredge back Oblivion, Invoke, and Seance, and we can set up for a much better turn in the future. And then we'll Oblivion here. I'll Seance first, and we'll Seance this Reap, which we definitely don't need. Then I can play Delay. I have enough block, so I can play Domain and Invoke. And we'll let the Call of the Void etherealize. I already have one of those. 2, of course, is good, but we don't need it. This turn, I can Capture Spirit first, because I want to shuffle some souls in. Oblivion is not in our draw pile, it's in our discard pile currently. Let's go Soul, Soul. I will play Putrefy. I'll play Apparition, because it's going to go away if we don't play it anyways. Play Countdown. Cleanse. I could cleanse Ascender's Bane, so I might as well. And then we'll play Bodyguard, Unleash, Negative Pulse. Do I want to play Spur? It gets Asti 3 Summon, and it will etherealize otherwise. I think it's fine to redraw Spur, so we'll just play it now. Alright, this is perfect. We get to play Oblivion here, and then we get to go Soul, Soul, Soul. Here's the challenge of redrawing Spur, but now we get to play an Oblivion, and then we can play a Negative Pulse, and that was a perfect elite fight. Flex Potion we don't need. Red Mask, also great. Taking damage on the first turn is the only thing we're worried about, so Red Mask completely fixes that. I don't need any of these cards, so let's go ahead and skip. And then we're going here, then I have to make a decision. Letter Opener, it's fine. We will almost always be playing 3 skills in a turn. So I have 218 gold, so hitting up a shop does make a lot of sense to me, so I think we're going to the right, and we'll just commit to this. It does mean that I have one more hallway fight, and we're committed to fighting 2 elites, but we can definitely fight 2 elites, so we'll go to the right here. I will upgrade... upgrading Apparition just removes the Ethereal, which I don't think is that necessary. You almost always play this when you draw it anyways. What do I actually want to upgrade here? I think I will upgrade my Negative Pulse or my Bodyguard. Probably Bodyguard. It's just a little more block. I don't need to upgrade the Oblivion, really, because it's the Sleight of Flesh that's actually killing stuff. Alright, we finally drew a draw spell in our opening hand. We have a lot of draw spells in the deck, and we're just not drawing them in our opening hand. So I guess I'll play Scourge. I should play these first, in case we draw into Sleight of Flesh or something like that. If you play multiple Apparitions in a turn, it stacks multiple turns of Intangible, so it's great. And then Capture Spirit. Should have played the Capture Spirit before the Scourges, actually, so I could draw into Souls, potentially. This character has some very difficult sequencing, so it's not surprising that I'm messing up some of it, but I'm messing up more of it than I should be. Let's start with Sleight of Flesh. Then I'll go Oblivion. Then I'm going to dredge back the Oblivion so we can get a lot of curse and damage. And I'll take back Scourge and Invoke as well. Try to draw into some more cards. Or do I want Scourge? Maybe it's just Scourge, because that's going to maximize my draw into more souls. Necromastery, I don't really need. I'm just going to let that etherealize. We'll start with a Seance. We'll turn a Defend into a soul here. Then I'll play Scourge. I'll play a soul. I'll play another soul. I'll play another one. This turn, I could get Delay going. Next turn, we are going to get... next turn's our Chandelier turn, so I don't need the extra energy as much. So maybe what I'll do here is just play Shroud and Countdown. Just set up a couple powers here. We've already applied some Doom, so Death's Door is on. Not that it really matters, but I guess let's start with... I'll start with the Domain in case we don't kill this turn. Then we'll go Soul, trying to draw into Oblivion, and I will play some Shielding, because we have all these burns in hand. Play Putrefy, just in case. Oh, it actually doesn't matter what I do with the rest of this turn, so I'll just block all this damage, and the enemy will die on its turn. I'm, like, carefully constructing, a pseudo-infinite for next turn, but the enemy's just dead. Don't really need any of these. We're gonna skip them. Let's go to the shop here, and... Okay, a Neurosurge is amazing. Unfortunately, I can't get Neurosurge and remove a card. But because I have Cleanse and Seance in the deck, removing my Defense is something we can do during the fight. So I think adding a Neurosurge for more card draw is going to be even better. Do I want another Negative Pulse? I don't think so. Discovery, I don't need. I would take something that added souls here, but none of these are that exciting. And Rolling Boulder I might also take just to give us some inevitability, but since we can't afford it, we're not going to take it. Do I want to trade out any of my potions? Nope, I think I like the potions that I have, so let's keep going. 13 damage incoming, which we can block with Delay. Unfortunately, Dredge doesn't do that much for me here, but I'll go Scourge, Apparition, Shroud, Call of the Void, and I'll save my Dredge and Reap because we retain both of those. So this enemy is summoning these Zap Bots, which just hit for decent damage, and get stronger every turn, so we do have to be aware of that. Soulstorm is pretty good. Maybe we could get a big hit with that, depending on how our draws go. Let's start with Seance, and we'll turn a Defend into a Soul here. I could Dredge back Scourge and Seance. That seems pretty reasonable, because otherwise I'm just playing these cards, which is fine, but let's try to be a little stronger this turn. So we'll Dredge everything back, we'll play Seance, and I'll turn... What don't I want from this pile? Most of this stuff I don't really need, but let's go ahead and just take out the Ascender's Bane here, because it's always a dead draw. Scourge this enemy, drawing 2 cards. I will play Putrefy. Guess I'll get the countdown set up. And I'll play an Invoke as well. Got some more Zap Bots incoming. This turn, I'll go with... Oh, Sikkim is interesting if you have other ways to generate Osti attacks, which we don't. But let's start with Sleight of Flesh, Capture Spirit on this enemy. I'll play Negative Pulse, which will kill the low health one. Apparition will prevent all the incoming damage. Domain is good, and then I'm going to let the Sikkim time out because I don't really want it this turn. Oblivion was in the was near the bottom of the deck, so that's why this is taken slightly longer, this fight. 8 cards in hand, so we can start with a Soul, and 9 cards in hand, we can play another one. Now I can play Oblivion. 9 cards in hand, I can play Neurosurge, drawing back up to 10. And then I could cleanse one of these. but I kind of want to draw the negative pulse. So let's start with Unleash here. It actually fully does not matter what I do. We just kill it this turn anyways. Page Storm. We have a couple ethereal cards in the deck, but not enough to make Page Storm good. So let's see if we can keep comboing down the enemies in this fight. Okay, drawing Neurosurge in our first turn is great. So let's just play that first. Capture Spirit on this enemy. And I've got Delay in hand, so that's fine. So then I will go Putrefy. Which I guess technically I should have played before the Capture Spirit. No, because Capture Spirit's health loss, so vulnerable doesn't matter there. We'll play Apparition, we'll play Delay, we'll play Invoke, we'll play Call of the Void. The enemy has made all of my cards ethereal, which mostly doesn't matter because we're going to be playing our whole hand basically every turn anyways. Let's start with a cleanse, and we'll remove anything that we don't want to draw. And then I'll play Scourge. Drawing some cards. We'll play a Soul. I definitely want to play Apparition this turn. I want to play Domain this turn. I could have summoned one if I played Devour Life before playing the Soul, but there was a chance I drew into stuff I wanted to spend my energy on more. As is, I think we're just going to play Countdown, Devour Life, Negative Pulse, and we'll let all of our defensive cards get disintegrated here. I hadn't found Slate of Flesh. We found it now. We got an extra Oblivion. That's pretty good. So we'll play Slate of Flesh here first. I should be able to kill both of these enemies just by playing the 2 Oblivions. And then I can play Scourge. I can dredge back both of my Oblivions and my Scourge to keep cycling through the deck. We'll play an Oblivion here. And I guess I'll play another one on this enemy, because these guys are just going to die. Play a Soul. Play Unleash. Killing that enemy as well. Bronze Scales is very good. I do want a Grave Warden. More Souls is great. And even though this is another card that we don't really need at this point, more block is still pretty good. 45 health is fine. Is there anything I really want to upgrade? I could upgrade my Oblivion. That's probably the way to get a faster kill. We're playing against the Doormaker, so we will have to do the combo over multiple turns against this enemy. So yeah, let's upgrade the Oblivion here. I shouldn't need more than 45 HP, sort of, no matter what happens. 18 damage incoming. We'll definitely drink our Bone Brew for some extra health. I have no draw in this hand currently. Let's use a skill potion to see if I can draw into some more cards. I'll just take the pull aggro here, I guess. Not a card I wanted to shuffle into the deck, but it does at least give me some more card block. Putrefy I do want to exhaust, so we'll just get rid of it, and then we'll play Negative Pulse, we'll play Call of the Void. One thing that's always funny to me, this is just in general when playing roguelikes on the internet, you know, I've talked a lot about the mistakes that I've made in this run, and I don't want to downplay that. I've made a lot of mistakes, but often when I talk about mistakes that I make in these runs, I'll get comments like, how do you make so many mistakes and still win? And I make no mistakes and still lose. And if that's the thing that you're thinking watching this video, chances are very good that you're simply not noticing your mistakes. And those are the ones that are getting you. You know, if you're losing the game, you're making mistakes. And so it can probably be worth it to take a step back and think, what are the mistakes that I'm making that I am not seeing if I think I'm making no mistakes and yet losing anyways? We'll play Neurosurge. This is great. We can draw multiple cards. Actually, I should have played Grave Warden first to shuffle a Soul in, but let's start with Seance, and we'll turn a Defend into a Soul. I'll play Capture Spirit, shuffle some more souls in. We'll play Grave Warden, Domain, and I don't need the Apparition this turn, so I'm just going to let that etherealize, because I actually do want the Reanimate more. This turn, let's start with Cleanse, because I want to remove bad draws from the deck before I cast my draw. I have Haunt, which is fine to get in play, I think. And then I'll play a Soul here. Then I'll play another one, dealing some more damage. I was really hoping to draw into Oblivion, but we do have the Dredge in hand, which I'm of course going to keep in hand until we draw into Oblivion. I will play Bodyguard, Delay, Unleash for a bunch of damage. Wow, that's a lot of damage on that enemy. And then I'll play Invoke. Not quite killing the door this turn, but we'll kill it next turn. Sleight of Flesh is still in the deck here. So let's start with... I'll start with Oblivion on this enemy, or... I can probably kill this enemy and then get Oblivion on the big one. What's the best way to do that? I could play Reap. It does cost me 3 energy. I could play Right Hand, but that's only 4 damage, so it's not going to be enough to kill it. So I think we'll start with Reap on this enemy, so I can get the Doormaker to show up. Then I'll play Oblivion, and then I'm going to try to draw into Sleight of Flesh, which I should have done in the other order, I guess. Now I've got Sleight of Flesh in play, so I should have had that before I played the Oblivion. Then I'm going to Dredge, and we'll get back Oblivion, and what else do I want? I have no cards in deck currently, though we will reshuffle, so I could get back Seance, for example. Always pretty good because it's a 0, and I guess I'll take an Unleash for a big hit. Then I'll play Oblivion. I'll play a Soul to trigger the reshuffle here. Replay Oblivion a 3rd time. That's awesome. Then I will Seance, and we'll turn Reap into a Soul here. I will Scourge to redraw. Scourge to redraw again. Yeah, I have no way to create souls or remove cards currently. So we'll Scourge to redraw again, hoping to draw into more card draw. Unfortunately, I missed on my additional card draw this turn. So what do I want for next turn? Probably just the Invoke. And do I want Right Hand? No, I think I'm going to let that disintegrate. This turn, I've got Grave Warden, so I'll play that first. Then I'll play a Soul. I'll play a Soul to trigger the reshuffle. Then I can go Seance, and we'll turn a Defend into a Soul. I could cleanse something. Is there anything in here I want to cleanse? Scourges and Oblivions I want to keep. Countdown I can probably cleanse. So I'll just go ahead and do that, because we're killing the enemy much too fast for Countdown to be worth playing. Let's play a Soul here. And I'll play Capture Spirit, shuffling some more souls in. We'll play Scourge. Play another Soul. Still haven't drawn into an Oblivion this turn. And I'm running out of cards to draw currently. So what I might do is not draw anymore this turn, leave more souls in the deck so we can loop Oblivion multiple times next turn. So I'm going to play Invoke here, and I'll play, I guess, just the Bodyguard. Because this turn I can go Oblivion, play a Soul, and that triggers a reshuffle, which makes it fairly likely that we draw into Oblivion again. And then nothing that changes what's my deck composition, so I'll do this now. I need to get a card out of my hand to make this soul playable, so we will play Negative Pulse, I guess, is the most damage, because I don't... Or no, I have Unleash, so we'll play Unleash, and then I'll play a soul. Then I can replay Oblivion, like we talked about. Then I can play another soul. And we're actually getting to the point where I'd be able to just loop Oblivion and souls infinitely pretty soon. But we obviously won't need to, because we're winning with the next card play. But there we go. We basically two-turned the Doormaker. It did take... we did stall out in the middle of that combo, because I messed up my sequences a little, and the deck is a little bit too thick to go infinite easily, but it's very easy to get one-turn kills with this character, and we managed to put that together. So there we go. That's an Ascension 6 win with the Necrobinder. Hope that you enjoyed that. I've really liked the Necrobinder. It's so cool how quickly you can set up these infinite combo turns and how easy it is to get like a cool storm deck. What I really enjoy about the Necrobinder is that you don't get just true infinite right away. You have to work for it. So there's a lot of intricate figuring out card ordering and lines in order to maximize your chances of going infinite, which is something that I really enjoy. As always, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that, and I'm glad we got a win, even though I did play pretty badly at some points in this run. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Slay the Spire 2 and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.